We're going to turn now to Health Watch. We're talking about loneliness, something that's more common than you may think. Back in 2023, the Surgeon General Vivek Murthy declared an epidemic of loneliness in this country, which fuels potentially deadly health problems, including heart disease, stroke, dementia, anxiety, depression. But a scientific report found that social connection increases the odds of survival by 50%. How about that? For CBS Sunday Morning, our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jon LaPook, found a surprising low-tech solution from Zimbabwe. Take a look.
In 2006, Dr. Chibanda introduced the Friendship Bench, a talk therapy program that brings mental health care directly into underserved communities. The program is free, and the grandmothers were happy to donate their time.
When I first started this, in fact, we called it the mental health bench.
Did anybody come?
Interestingly, nobody came to the mental health bench, John, you know.
Because of the stigma?
Because of the stigma, until the grandmas said, you know, why don't you turn it into a friendship bench?
Genius.
It is genius. Dr. Jon LaPook joins us now. What is this connection between loneliness and physical health?
Yeah, there's a lot of data about it. Your stress hormones go up, your blood pressure goes up. It's just not good for you to be lonely.
But that statistic shocked me when Tony read it. You have a 50% chance of
higher survival rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good for you when you have community. I mean,
That's major.
It is major, and I have to say, Dr. Dixon Chibanda, who you saw, this is one of the most genius ideas I've heard in my entire life. Background, 20 years ago, he had a patient who very sadly took her own life at the age of 25. And the reason, he said, was that she didn't have the $10 to travel by bus to go see him. He had no money, he had no resources, he had no physical place, and he said, let's just set up a bench, called it the Friendship Bench, and he enlisted 14 grandmothers who donated their time. Do you know what happened last year? More than 3,000 older people, not just grandmothers, saw more than 300,000 people in Zimbabwe. And at the time, 20 years ago, there were only 10 psychiatrists for 13 million people.
Well, that was my next question. Is this just therapy, or is there something about friendship connection, or is it all the same?
Well, first of all, just to make it clear, he's a psychiatrist, he had a program, they were trained. If there was some signal saying they may need more therapy, maybe they're suicidal, there was a way to refer them. So it's not just something you just, set up a bench and do it on your own. But yeah, it turns out that being alone is not good for us. And we saw, during the pandemic, there was a lot of isolation. I hated the term, you heard me say it so many times, social isolation. It was physical isolation, okay, we understood that, but social isolation, we needed to be more connected to each other socially. And even going back to the beginning of devices, we're just more looking, by ourselves. Even the way, when we look at a streaming show, you should watch stuff at home, by yourself. But when you're in a theater, when you have community around you, that raises your oxytocin level, which is the feel-good hormone. It just increases your all the good hormones in your body.
Yeah, it doesn't just feel good; it makes you healthier.
And you did a segment, was it just yesterday, about barbershops?
Yeah.
Right? What happens in barbershops?
Same thing.
People just are together. So anything we can do to sort of be with each other is,
It really does make a difference. Go ahead.
I was going to say, with this plane crash, I thought of you because I feel like people who have 80 people survived a rollover crash with flames, right? They were upside down. That's a life-changing event, right? Someone's going to walk out of that plane and change their priorities. And I just thought of you as a possible person to follow that kind of story.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And I hope that maybe if there's a message that people take from this, it's, my father, he died in 2018, a couple of months shy of his 100th birthday. And my mother died in 2009. They've been married 66 years. Now, we saw him a lot. But what he would do is he'd go out to Central Park, and he would sit on the bench, and he was like the mayor. A lot of older people would come and talk with him. And actually, my nephew, Sam Pasternak, made a movie. He put a sign one day that said, free advice.
Oh
and
my
all
gosh,
sorts of
amazing.
People came.
I love that.
So I think people can do that. See each other. Go have social community.
I love that.
Yeah, it really does boost your mood.
Don't just pick up the phone and call. That's fine.
Or text.
Or text. Go see somebody.
All right.
That's great.
All right. We have
Thank
to hang
you.
out more. Dr. Jon LaPook, we got to do it. Have dinner. Come over. Thanks for being here.
What are you cooking?
What are you cooking?
I thought you were making. Did you
I'll
make
cook.
gumbo last night?
No, there was a rumor that I can make gumbo, which is untrue.
I'll bring the food.
All right, you bring the food. No,
Okay.
Tony's a really good cook.